Welcome to Lunch of the Lord. I'm Pastor Mark. We're in Judges chapter 16. We're going to be starting in verse 15 this lesson. But before we begin, Jeremiah 15:16. Thy words were found, and I did eat them, and thy word was unto me the joy and the rejoicing of my heart. Now, last lesson we see that Samson meets Delilah, and he loves her. It's possible that he's courting her. Maybe he wants to marry her. We don't know if she's a Philistine or an Israelite. There's nothing really said about her. But we said last lesson that even if she is an Israelite, she's got the heart of a Philistine. And so he meets her, and the Philistines come up to her, and they want her to, because the Philistines realize they can't beat Samson in hand-to-hand combat. So they are going to try to go to the source of his strength and to nullify that source, and then to defeat him that way. And then the weakest part of Samson is his own lusts and his own weaknesses. So, and they probably know that. The Philistines probably know he has a weakness for women because of what happened down in Gaza a few lessons ago. But now we're in chapter 16. Let's read verses 15 to 21. And it says, And she, meaning Delilah, she said unto him, How can you say, I love you, when your heart is not with me? You have mocked me these 3 times, and you've not told me where your great strength lies. And it came to pass, when she pressed him daily with her words, and urged him, so that his soul was vexed unto death, that he told her all his heart, and said unto her, There is not come a razor upon my head, for I've been a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak, just like any other man. And when Delilah saw that he had told her all of his heart, she sent and she called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, Come up this once, for he has showed me all his heart. Then the lords of the Philistines came up unto her, and they brought her money in their hand. And she made him sleep upon her knees, and she called for a man, and she caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head. And she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him. And she said, The Philistines are upon thee, Samson. And he woke out of his sleep, and said, I will go out as other times before, and shake myself. And he did not know that the Lord was departed from him. But the Philistines took him, and they put out his eyes, and brought him down to Gaza. And they bound him with fetters of brass, and he did grind in the prison house. Now, the final trap now is set, and Samson is caught in it. Samson is no different than you or I. Because God is love, then when he created us, he put within us the desire and the need to be loved and also to love. Like the old saying, looking for love in all the wrong places, Samson was a man that needed to be loved and also to love someone. So this God is love. And when God creates, obviously he creates out of his own of who he is, his own being. So we are, in a sense, we are creatures of love. We need to love. We need to be loved. And Samson's no different than anyone else. But his fulfillment for love was directed in the wrong place. He should have prayed and let God lead him as to who he should love. Delilah is a woman with the words of love, but not the heart. She has convinced Samson that she has genuine love for him, but it never existed in her heart. Maybe there was a time when she had some kind of feelings for him, but it probably never went to the point of where she loved him. Delilah pressed him for the secret, which was a test of strength to the highest degree. His convictions and his very soul was being tested, and he failed. Her desire to get the secret was stronger than his desire to keep the secret hidden in order to help the Israelites. Samson was strong physically, but his heart was weak. He had weak convictions, and he did not consider the Nazirite vow that God put. And again, as I said many lessons ago, as far as we know, Samson is the only man in the Bible that God placed the Nazirite vow upon. Other people had Nazirite vows, but they didn't have it because God told them before they were conceived that that person's going to be a Nazirite. Samson gives in and tells her where he believes that his strength comes from. It comes from his hair. That's what he believes. But even in his answer, we see that Samson is missing the mark. His strength was not in his hair, but it was in the relation between God and the Nazirite vow. That's where his strength was. His strength was in the relation between God and the Nazirite vow. He never mentions God at all. He never mentions God here at all. When he talks to Delilah, he doesn't say, God put upon me the Nazirite vow. And I've been, serving God all these years. Never says it all. It's all about him. It was God who gave Samson his strength as long as he had his hair. Without God, his hair is nothing. Over and over, Samson violated his Nazirite vow. And the last emblem of his Nazirite vow, which he had so far never violated, was his hair. He went to the vineyards and probably ate grapes and things like that. He violated that, and he's going with prostitutes and that kind of thing. But the one thing so far in his life of the Nazirite vow that he did not violate was his hair. And now this is where we come to. Now this is the last emblem of his vow, and he gives it up to a false love that will eventually betray him. He gives up the last emblem of his vow to a woman that he thinks loves him, but he's been fooled. As Delilah made him sleep in her lap, so also many a Christian are put to sleep by these things in this world, which they think love and care for them, only to be betrayed. The Christian is put to sleep. Their guard is down. resting in the lap of false love, only to awake and find out that their desire to pray is gone. Their desire to go to church, it's gone. Their desire to go to the Bible study or to the women's meeting or to teach Sunday school, it's all gone. It's all gone. Why? Because Christians sleep in the lap of the world. They've fallen in love with the world. And the world speaks nice flowery words. Words that sound like love. But it's not. It's just a false love. It's a love, it's a betrayal love. And it's a love that loves money, that loves the things of this world more than it loves you. It's not committed to you at all. The things of this world are not committed to you at all. And the only reason why they would be committed to you is to betray you. That's it. So Samson falls asleep in the lap of Delilah. Many Christians are falling asleep in the lap of things of this world that seem to be caring for them, seem to be that show some kind of care and love for them. But it's in the end, you're going to be betrayed, I'm telling you. Their spiritual eyes have been removed, and they can no longer see the goodness of God, the grace of God, and the forgiveness of God. Oh yeah. Now the hair is cut off. They wake up from their sleep and realize, I have no more desire to pray. I have no more desire to go to church. Where's my desire for teaching Sunday school or being in the music ministry or going to the Bible study, weekly Bible study? I have no more. Where did it go? Oh, it went when we fell asleep in the lap of the world. That's where it went. They cut it right off. And now the eyes have been removed. Once the hair is taken off, the spiritual eyes have been removed. Now they can't see the things of God anymore. Oh no. They can't see God working in people's lives. They lost their conviction to God. And now they have no more power with God. Are they saved? Yes. That can never be taken from them. Yes, they'll go to heaven. But a testimony, are they still a testimony for God? No. They've lost that testimony. They've lost that ability to become a testimony for God. Without his hair, Samson really did look just like any other man of this world. Samson said, if you cut my hair, I'll be weak, just like every other man. It's exactly what happened. When his hair was cut, his consecration to God was gone, and he looked just like the world. But with his hair, he stood out as one who had a special call and a special relationship with God. Listen, as a Christian, don't lose your convictions to God, to his word, to church. Don't lose those things. Why? Because those things are a testimony to this world. It's a testimony that you stand up for Christ, that you are a Christian, one who follows Christ. There are many Christians who have lost their eyes and lost their hairs years ago, and they are content to look like the world and be a slave to this world. As Samson made himself a slave to prostitutes, now God makes him a slave to his enemies. Oh yeah. Yeah. But again, don't be tempted to see God as a vengeful God in all of this. But remember, God loves Samson. And in his love for Samson, He is letting Samson reap what he's been sowing. Don't see this as God saying, I'm sick and tired of you, Samson. You've always turned your back on me. You never mention me in anything, hardly ever. And you're betraying the Nazirite vow over and over and over again. I've had it. No, that's us. That's us. That's not God. God has had a tremendous amount of love for Samson. And it came to the point where basically God said, you need to reap what you sow. But God did it because of his great love for Samson. Remember, Samson's life is to be a lesson for us today. When you read about Samson and you say, well, isn't it? It's a story all about how this strong man who was used by God fell. It's more than that. How did he fall? And we learn from Samson's life not to fall, not to do the same things he did in order to protect our walk with God and our testimony to this world. Samson's life, in a sense, it looks like a failure. Yes, at the end, he kills 3,000 people, and you may say, well, at the end, it was a victory. No. Samson's life, in a sense, was a failure, and you will see it. And we only got about another maybe 2 lessons to go to finish up this book of Judges and finish up the story of Samson. But let Samson's life be a testimony of of the things we need to be beware of in our life, in our walk with God. All right. We're going to continue on in verse 22 next lesson, but until then, walk with the Lord. I know he walks with you.